Hi, my name is Destiel Nevada Putin Election COVID Way, and I have long ebony black hair.
And I'm Diablo, and we're not gonna explain that. My name was Hailey, it's Diablo now.
Diablo now. Well, I'm Evie, and this is our podcast, me and Diablo. Is that a JoJo reference?
No, it's a reference to My Immortal.
Oh, okay. I was worried there was a JoJo reference.
Have you not read My Immortal?
I have. It's been a while, one. And two, also, I'm used to hanging out with Gwen, and she sends me JoJo references all the time, and it makes me upset.
That makes sense. You're traumatized. No, they changed Ron Weasley's name
To Diablo.
just straight up to Diablo. By the way, we're talking about My Immortal, probably the most infamous fan fiction ever created in the world. And this is our Immortal.
This is our Immortal.
A podcast dedicated to talking about the weird, freaky, very often hilarious fan fictions that arise when people are given access to the internet a little too young. We were both those people, you know. I'm sure there will be those people for generations.
And we decided with our advanced knowledge that we have gathered over the past too many years online.
Yes.
To talk about the best things in life, terrible fan fictions.
This is like the reason a lot of people dislike fan fiction or fandom culture in general. I think generally, this is a broad generalization, that fandom culture can be a really cool and beautiful thing. It's something that we've both been a part of for a long time. But this is not that.
This is not that. We are talking the worst of this. Means that we're talking the weird shit here.
Just spectacularly bad.
Introduce ourselves. Well, I'm Evie.
I'm Hailey.
We are best friends, comedy partners.
Yes. Comedic partners. In the comedy of errors known as our mutual lives together.
Our mutual lives together since we were but children. And now we've started this where we may be reading quote-unquote bad fan fictions. Some may say weird, gross, depending on your interpretation of gross and depending on the fan fictions we read. But it shouldn't be taken as a critique of the kinds of people who write them. This is a comedy podcast and intended
Absolutely.
Joy and frivolity, and that's it. We don't judge people.
Yeah, if anything, please keep making them because you'll keep us in a job, and you are doing your main job of entertaining.
You really
and they're
are.
So entertaining. They're so
entertaining, and we love them. And keep reading fan fiction because then they'll keep writing it, even if it's not weird.
Yeah.
We won't be reading the non-weird ones on our podcast, though, so.
We're starting off swinging today, I think, with really just a god-awful topic, which is late-night show hosts.
Now, Hailey and I, we have a little bit of history with this, and that is...
That's so ambiguous. No, we don't.
3 years ago, according to my Snapchat memories, Hailey and I read one of the fan fictions that I'm going to be talking about today, and that is what sparked our first episode. And that
was really the impetus for all of this. We said, what are we qualified to talk about? Virtually nothing? Okay, no doubt.
But what about these fan fictions? So that's what we're going to talk about here today, and I hope that you enjoy them.
How this is going to work is that we're each going to come forth. We're going to have one topic or theme every other week, but we're going to sort of, my favorite murder-esque, walk each other through the story, just kind of discuss, get into it. Quirky literary analysis here and there, who knows?
Who knows? I am not adept at analysis of literature. That's your expertise. I'll trust you to do that. I just know where to find them. That's so creepy way to say it. All right, let's jump into my topic. My topic specifically under the header of late night comedy news reports. Mine is Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart. So I'm talking about Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, famed late night hosts, and
people apparently saw them and said, hey, let's get these two motherfuckers in a room.
Let's get these
some mad chemistry.
And I actually have the fic that we read 3 years ago.
Yeah, this is historical.
This is historical. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then I'm going to share some fic recs, as I call them. If you want to do some outside reading, and I have an excerpt to read to you in a very...
Oh my god, I'm so excited / terrified. This is awful.
Right, so let me go ahead and tell you all about it. So there's 2 different categories that I found within this community, and there is fandom headers in AO3. We will be working primarily in AO3 because I would rather dive and visit Wattpad or fanfiction.net ever again.
Oh, but those are the real fertile grounds, I feel like.
Oh, baby, I found so much on AO3 you don't even know. When we get to the really weird shit, we'll go on to fanfiction.net and Wattpad. I hate the way that Wattpad's laid out. I hate that I have to, click so many things to read it. I do have one thing that's not on AO3, but most of my research was done there because I had to edit all of that out. Fanfiction reading website.
Oh, man.
So all of this is based on AO3. So the main fandoms that I could find were the fake news RPS and fake news FPF. Now, RPF stands for real person fanfiction. It's a very hot topic in the fanfiction community that we're not going to get into today. And an FPF,
which we do not endorse, by the way, by our portrayal.
Fake news FPF was another fandom label, and I cannot tell you the difference. And I think that FPF must stand for fake or fictional person fanfiction, which just is regular old fanfiction, and I don't know what the FPF was about. Anyway.
It's just like categorizing. I don't know.
There was also assorted shows for both of them. And I mostly stayed in the Stephen Colbert centralized area because that seems to have the most interesting fics.
And if you turn left here, you'll see the Colbert Canyon. Now you've got tentacles littering the ground, so please watch your step.
I was going to save the tentacleness for later, but okay.
I think you can't just slip the tentacles in at the end any context.
There's so many
you've got to go.
There's so many of them.
Full tentacle.
There's so many of them.
Which is just why?
I don't know. But the Colbert area seemed to encapsulate...
The Colberia, if you will.
Colberia.
Thank you.
The Colberia seemed to encapsulate also some of the Jon Stewart.
Hey, Evie, favorite late night talk show host on 3. 1, 2, 3,
John
go.
Oliver.
John Oliver. Okay! Yay!
I feel like we've already talked about this. We both already decided it was John Oliver.
I just think he's neat.
He's my funky bird dad, and I love him.
That's a surprisingly apt description. I will take no John Oliver slander. He is like numbers 1 through 7 on my list of men whom are not conventionally attractive, but are hunky, awooga, hello nurse, 1 through 7.
1 through 7, okay. John Oliver is included in some of these, which is fun.
Oh, man.
should have looked up if there was any John Oliver, Adam Driver. I think I saw one.
Adam Driver? Why?
So there's so again, like I said, there's the fake news is the overall header of the fandom.
Which I love that it's fake news. Is that like?
I think it's because of the satire.
I was just gonna say, is that like Trumpism?
I think that it might predate him, but honestly, I could not tell. It's not super active today. I did my research about 4 or 5 days ago from the time that we're recording this, about a week ago by the time this is posted. I actually did my research the day that the election was announced, and there hadn't been any updates in the fandom since September, which is very interesting given today's political climate. I thought that there was going to be a lot more, especially when I did my research, it was like the day after or the day that like he had that like quote unquote breakdown, Stephen Colbert did. And I was surprised that there was nothing posted after that. I feel like that's some good, like if I was in this fandom, I would have written about it. So both the Daily Show and the Colbert Report fandoms are linked to the header fake news. The Late Show does not. It is not part of the fake news fandom link. Also in my search for Stephen Colbert / Jon Stewart, I found a lot of CNN.
That's even more ridiculous.
Technically not a late night news show program, satire parody.
Now, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but what I'm bringing to the table does in fact have some Anderson Cooper content.
Interesting. The last fic that I have will bridge the gap between yours and mine, which I think is interesting. So the strongest ship overall in this fandom is Stephen Colbert / Jon Stewart, but there are other, like Olivia Munn, Kristen Schaal.
I love Kristen Schaal.
I love Olivia Munn. I also love Kristen Schaal. Both of them great. There's 7 of those. We got Stephen Colbert in quotes / Tad. Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart, which is different than / Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart / Tracy Stewart. Steve Carell / Stephen Colbert in quotes. Stephen Colbert in quotes / original character. And Stephen Colbert / Sweetness. Do with that information what you will. Now, this is something that I think that you ran into also. A lot of them were in Chinese.
Yes!
Yeah.
A great amount of them were in Chinese. And the one that I ended up choosing to go through is a Google Translate, like automatic translation button rendition of it. So that leads to a lot of just really interesting sentences and mannerisms of those involved.
There's also surprisingly not a lot of smut. Now, I know that smut has this kind of reputation. People tend to assume that all fan fiction is smut. And while a lot of the weird ones are smut, not all of them are. A lot of these were actually rated G for general audiences.
Yeah, I encountered the same.
Which I think is pretty fascinating. I'm reading off my notes that I took while going through, and one line of notes just says, "Holy fuck, I just found Stephen Colbert / Nancy fucking Pelosi."
Nancy Pelosi? Fucking insane.
Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, was it like Cecily Strong playing Nancy Pelosi or legitimately Nancy?
I also found a tag that I think is very interesting. As somebody who has in the past read RPF, this is a shame of mine, but also, you know, we've all gotten into weird fan fiction rabbit holes in the past. That's what brought this show about. I've never seen a tag in any of the RPF adventures I've gone on through my life that I think this should be portrayed more. The tag wifeless AU.
What?
Yeah, an AU where they do not have wives.
I mean, I can see that was born out of necessity,
yeah.
But like, is the wife's existence really what's stopping you here? Like, do you need a whole alternate universe for the wife to be gone?
Yeah. I'd never seen. I'll read. There's 2 more tags that I saw, and I'll read them in sequence. Trump's killing the Kurds, and Stephen's gonna fix it.
Oh God! Oh.
Adoption. Those are 2 separate tags. Trump's killing the Kurds, and Stephen's gonna fix it. Adoption. In the same fan fiction.
So there's a wide variety. I'm ready to start hearing what some of these are about.
A surprising amount of tentacle fics. And also a larger fandom than I was expecting. Now, it didn't take me terribly long to find the one from 3 years ago that we read, but it was still, like, more expansive than some other fandoms that I've seen in the past in my research times. So I have a couple of fics tags. So we've got one that is titled The One with the Tentacles, and it's part of a collection called...
That's a succinct title. I feel like, you know what, why not shoot from the hip and just go, this is a Friends episode, The One with the Tentacles.
Yeah. This is from a collection, a series called The Adventures of Vagina Jon. Vagina has an exclamation point in it to imply that this is like an AU where this thing has been inflicted upon the character.
Yeah, but it also sounds like an old kind of like transphobic country song, like A Boy Named Sue. I'm not saying A Boy Named Sue is transphobic, but you can totally see someone like banjoing around a fire and like, gather around here, children, with your victuals and your liplins. It's time for the story of old Vagina Jon. Right?
Yeah. I'm gonna write a banjo song on my banjolele called The Adventures of Vagina Jon, but it won't be transphobic.
Nice.
So the summary of this one is very succinct. Written for a kink meme prompt requesting Vagina Jon meeting the tentacle monster that lives under Stephen's desk.
Succinct, but there's a lot there now, isn't there?
No, I believe that is the tentacle monster. Now, I haven't indulged in much Stephen Colbert.
Or any.
No, I mean, like, I haven't watched any of his.
Oh. Yeah, he's not my fave. Sorry, Stephen, if you're listening.
Sorry, Stephen Colbert, if you're listening. Please don't listen to this.
Yeah. Can we block Stephen Colbert from our socials?
Yeah. Is there canonically a tentacle monster under his desk?
I don't know.
So that one's fun. There are only 2 tags on this fanfiction, and that's tentacles and porn. I've only chosen tentacle-related ones, I believe. I may have included some other ones, but it's just a time. This one is called Galactic Amity.
Hello, this is Editing EV. I just wanted to let you know that I mispronounced that. I said Amity. It's Amity.
There's a lot. We've got the summary, first of all. Aliens keep coming to Earth to have sex with Stephen. Bizarre, insistent, vigorous, embarrassingly stimulating sex. That's it. That's the fic.
That sounds like it's poorly translated. Is this translated from Chinese?
No, it is not. Somebody wrote that out. Oh, also, I will say that the last fic that I told you about was from 2012. This one is from 2017. So this fandom has been going on for a while. I kind of don't want to read the tags for this one, but I will say that dubious consent is one of them.
Oh, man.
One of the things in the notes section of this says, Stephen, in quotes, is a teenager in the first scene, an adult for the rest of it. Other content notes and tags. If you think I've missed anything, feel free to let me know. A lot in there, fellas.
Yeah, that is rich. That is very rich.
One of the lines in this is, "You're in America," mumbles Stephen sleepily. "Speak English."
I'm sorry, can you give that to me with a more passionate reading, please?
"You're in America. Speak English."
You're so sexy.
The next fic that I have for you is a multi-chaptered fic in a collection called Fur, Scales, Wings, and Tails.
Dragon tails, fur and scales and wings and tails.
This one's so fun because it's a crossover with Welcome to Night Vale.
Oh.
And we have both enjoyed Welcome to Night Vale. It's a good podcast.
Yeah, no doubt.
I haven't listened to it in a while, but it's a good podcast.
Me neither, but that brings me so much nostalgia, honestly.
The summary for this one is Cecil, who is a character from Night Vale, brings Carlos, his husband in the podcast, as his date to a family reunion. He can't wait to catch up with his journalist cousin, Stephen, and he's sure Carlos will get along great with his scientist aunt, Valerie.
Now, I just want to know, like, what crossed the streams here?
I want you to know that his aunt, Valerie, is Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus.
Okay. That's another new element. God damn.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until just now. I didn't notice the Magic School Bus tag until just now. There's every single one of these has so much to unpack.
And lucky you've taken it upon yourself to start unpacking.
Do you want to know what year this came out?
Yes, I do.
2013.
Wowza.
Yeah, that's really early on in Welcome to Night Vale. Yeah, that's a year. That's a year into Welcome to Night Vale.
I have no idea what the timeline is, but that's...
Cecil and Carlos got married. That's before...
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of its popularity, right? Like...
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Night Vale was a really big thing for a while, but it wasn't always. Did they, like, find, hey, this is pretty fucky, you know, there's some people in a desert. You know what would make this so choice, though? You know what would just, like, Ratatouille, close my eyes, I get a bite of cheese, I get a bite of grape, the cheese is Welcome to Night Vale, and the grape, Stephen Colbert, baby.
And just a little bit of Magic School Bus sprinkled in.
A sprinkling.
This next one that I have for you is called Childbearing Hips. The tag alternate universe gender changes. Stephanie is going to have a lot of trouble trying to not admit she's a lesbian and wants to raise babies with Joan, while also talking Joan into having babies with her. Denial, cognitive dissonance.
Okay, so I'm assuming this one is more of a psychological study, right?
Maybe.
A little bit of queer theory.
This one was published in 2018, but it is part of a series called Archive, Doc's Old Ass Fake News Fic, Daily Show, Colbert Report, etc.
It's actually a little horrifying how recent some of these are. I want to think that they're all relics of a bygone era, but it seems like that's not the case.
The notes for this do say, archiving some old fanfic of mine. This was originally posted to LiveJournal April 15th, 2009, with the author's note, prompt was, if you want to do another little piece on Raven/cross-dressing, that would be more than okay with me. Close enough. What the fuck does that mean?
Who's Raven? Are we talking Raven, Ebony, Darkness, Dementia Way?
You meant Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Raven Way?
Yeah, that too. Look, I don't feel the need to respect Raven Way's name order.
This one is the one that I mentioned earlier. Nancy Pelosi / Stephen Colbert.
Hey, listeners, at this point, can you hear me, like, losing my faith a little bit? Can you hear that? Just listen to my voice. Keep going, Evie.
It's called Her Voice on the Phone, and this is locked, which means that you can only see it if you have an archive of our own account and you're logged in. Fortunate for me, I do have one that is constantly logged in. Unfortunately for me, it exists.
Too powerful for the general public. Too powerful.
You guys don't get to know it yet. Maybe someday. I'm going to read you the summary now.
Mm-hmm. Please do.
Stephen does an episode from home not wearing pants. Then he gets a call from the House Speaker. Suggestive, nothing graphic. Trigger warning. Mention of nuclear war, not as in actually happening. Start as a joke.
I'm sorry. Just one sec. Oh, I'm getting a call. What's this? Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Hi, Hailey. This is me. Democratic Speaker Nancy Pelosi, I want you to know that you're super sexy hot, but also, wait for this. The clock is hitting midnight, so,
we gotta
get in that bunker.
Get in
that bunker, you sweet mama. Nothing explicit, though. It's soft. It's me, Nancy Pelosi.
There's more to this note. Obviously disregarding their respective very happy marriages. Also, I don't know either of them, and this is entirely a work of fiction and all that.
Thank
Don't know them? I
like to think that it's like Nancy Pelosi's grand niece, maybe, and she's just like, I respect my great aunt so much, I look up to her. Actually, no, I shudder to think that, and we're moving on.
I have to make a quick phone call really fast.
Are you getting a little bit of aggression out on the screen?
Hi, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, great. I wanted you to know that somebody that you don't know is writing fanfiction about you. And I know you said that you only want people that you know to write fanfiction about you. Yeah. This is from June.
Sorry, hi, it's me, Nancy Pelosi. No, I have nothing to say. I'm just still shell-shocked.
Yeah,
I can't yes and right now. I'm too raw.
Do you want me to leave a comment saying that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave a comment. I'm recording the podcast right now. Yeah. Okay, I'll make
Doing a little bit of reputation rehabilitation, huh?
I'm just gonna write this down. Yeah. All right. Okay, get us another stimulus bill, Nancy. All right, go be a girl boss. Okay, bye. Hang up. Oh my god, I hate talking to her. I hate talking to her on the phone. She's the worst. Anyway.
I know, just a real see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Here's one that I found very interesting. This one's on LiveJournal. There's a lot going on this one. There is a profile picture of Jon Stewart that has their their name on it, and it says what happens when fangirls get bored on this picture of Jon Stewart. And then also it says The Daily Show RPS. This was written in 2007. It was posted February 4th, 2007 at 11:27 p.m. There's also another...
I just hear the words 2007 and my heart yearns for a simpler time.
There's another profile picture, which is a GIF from the show Sherlock. If you remember the scene where they go to Buckingham Palace.
Mm-hmm.
And John looks over at Sherlock and goes, "Are you wearing any pants?" Because he's wrapped in a bedsheet after refusing to put on clothes.
Sorry, no, I think it was something a little bit more like, "Are you wearing any pants, mate?"
That's your Martin Freeman impression?
You got your little pants on, Sherlock.
And Sherlock says no.
Sorry, I think you mean no.
No. That's too Australian.
No.
That was too Australian, I'm sorry. No, Claire, you can't get any water on you.
No.
That was awful. I need to cut that out.
Yeah, all of this is sonically unlistenable, but I think our listeners do deserve it.
Don't listen to this podcast. It's auditorily terrible. New fic. Title, Doubt. Author, Silent Horror. And then it has their profile. Pairing, Jon Stewart / Stephen Colbert. Genre / rating, drama, NC-17. Length, 3,157 words. Summary. Things have changed so much even since Stephen left The Daily Show, and John wonders how much more they'll go on changing. Disclaimer. Any similarities between the fictional version of the person portrayed here and the actual persons is purely coincidental. This is a work of fiction. This is not an attempt to defame the character of said person on the basis of libel, as the work is fictional and not an intensely false statement created with the express purpose of misleading others about the actual character of said person.
I can't stress this enough. Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert are not in a relationship. I know it looks like it. I know you can get easily confused. I know that's, what the media would have you think, but it's not true. And I am going to give you no bull to the fucking shit. Thank you.
Any mention of The Daily Show, The Colbert Report, Viacom, any associated entities, or any copyrighted materials pertaining therein is reasonably protected by the Fair Use Rule of the United States Copyright Act of 1976 and is not intended to infringe upon any copyrighted materials. Also available in my journal and Skyhawk.
This is bulletproof. They have taken the law and made it their little bitch.
Now, I have one that I would like to read an excerpt from.
Please, be my guest.
Now, this one is called Tentacle Aftercare.
Aw, that's really sweet.
There are archive warnings for graphic depictions of violence and rape and non-con.
Oh,
which is non-consensual.
That's less sweet. Which I have such beef with. Why do you need to, make it cutesy and say, no, it's non-con? What the? No!
So,
Don't make it palatable. Fucking, ugh.
I will put that warning out there that I'm not going to be reading any that contains any of that, but just know if you go to search this out that it's going to be gross. And also one of the tags is tentacle rape.
Reprehensible, if you will.
Here's the summary. Kink meme prompt. Phil. Stephen, in quotes, strays into the tentacle monster district. Now it's up to Jon and Sweetness to come to the rescue.
He goes from the Colberia
to the tentacle monster district.
He walks 2 blocks up on 45th.
Yeah. Notes. Goal. To finish a couple of the half-finished TCR fics, The Colbert Report, on my hard drive before the show's grand finale. This is a weird Lovecraftian-esque AU that exists solely to enable tentacle kink. Don't think about the world building too hard. I would now like to read an excerpt.
Now that's just lazy.
This is from 2014. And
I want more books, actually. Sorry. I want more books to say, don't think too hard about the world building. Like at the beginning of Harry Potter, it says, if you think about it too hard, you'll start to have thoughts like, magic isn't real and trans people should have rights. But just don't think about the world building too much. Just lower that sense of disbelief, baby. Just go into it blind.
I'm now going to read an excerpt from this fic because this is in fact the fic that Hailey and I read those many years ago.
Aww.
And so I'm going to read an excerpt. This is not from the beginning, but it's a good excerpt. The friendly voice of the GPS started giving Jon warnings once he was within a few blocks of the district limits. Turn left at intersection. Caution. Approaching Stefon territory. Advance 100 feet. Are you sure you want to do this? Sweetness, who had insisted on being buckled in, rattled against the seatbelt as the car turned.
Who is Sweetness?
I think from something from the Colbert Report.
Excellent.
We will sever its limbs where it stands and make it scream like the filthy squid it is.
Ah.
That's really racist, said Jon automatically. Besides, I don't think squids can scream. I cannot be racist, hissed Sweetness. I do not see race. But the boy tells me I am black, and I believe him. Because in the dark you would not see me coming. Sonic emitter on, announced the GPS. Suspension of human legal codes in 80 feet, 60 feet, 40 feet. Outsized Cephalon architecture loomed over the widening street, the mismatched turrets, unexpected curves, the oval windows reflecting blue street lamps just starting to turn on. The sidewalks were already broad and open, the better to accommodate creatures whose shuffling trails could be 6 or 8 feet wide. Warning signs flanked the next sidewalk John pulled up to. There was a powered gate beyond it, a white bar with red stripes that lifted as he pulled up. At a 45-degree angle it stalled, creaking. "Come on, hurry up," grumbled John. "You'll smash through the feeble obstacles as through matchsticks and leave its splinters in your wake." "I won't have to," said John as the bar creaked its way to 12 o'clock. His phone said he was only a couple blocks in. "Let me know if you see a parking space." "You will stop in front of an iron column as red as freshly spilled blood if necessary," shrieked Sweetness. They didn't have fire hydrants in the Cephalon district, but John decided not to argue the point. "The boy is close. For every bitter tear he weeps, we will make the creature shed 100. As John pulled up beside a 6-foot parking meter, something clicked in his head, metallic and icy. "You're not just guessing. You know. There's a tentacle monster with Stephen right now, and he's crying." So that's the excerpt that I have for you.
Now, is that last line an editorial?
No, that's something that John said out loud.
First of all, I appreciate your reading of that. It was very ethereal. I felt like I was underwater.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good mood. Second of all, I'm weirdly filled with a strange amount of joy that someone, like, you know what? I won't look too closely at the world building. What on earth is a Cephalon district? I don't know, but I'm so happy. Thank you. You're right, where the squids live. I'm just so happy that somebody came up with this. Why? Why would this ever need to be made? Or even, like, how could it be conceived?
To enable tentacle kink. Did you not listen to the summary, Hailey? Did you not listen to the author's notes?
You're right. I'm off base here.
You're in the wrong.
I am. Thank you.
Thank you
for checking me.
I do have one more, and this one's going to be a little treat for you because it's a crossover with what you have to share.
Oh.
I know. Now this is a lot, so I'm going to read the tags. I'm going to read the characters. I'm going to read the tags. I'm going to read the summary, and then you can take it away from there. Characters: Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Stefon, John Oliver, Samantha Bee, Jason Jones, Trevor Noah, Amy Schumer, Andy Richter, Donald Trump, Shepard Smith, Jessica Williams, Daily Show. Additional tags: Dystopia AU, College AU, recreational drug use, violence, major character injury, injury detail, blood and gore, rating may change, implied reference torture, aftermath of torture, implied reference character death, canon Jewish character, canon gay character, everything awful, oh god someone do something, trans character, canon gay relationship, ish, facts, implied reference drug addiction, resistance, freeform, illegal stuff, mentions of Brexit, Cold War II, asexual character, bisexual character.
What was the one that was like, oh God, please take this away from me?
Oh God, somebody do something.
Yeah. Shit, man. Me too.
This was written in 2018. Here's the summary. Jon Stewart and his best friend Stephen Colbert are hard at work resisting Donald Trump's dictatorial regime, but they aren't alone.
That's a little too relevant.
Seth Meyers is in love with his well-meaning but drug-addicted roommate Stefon, who is totally oblivious to it. Jimmy Fallon is unsure of his place in the world, while Jimmy Kimmel is seeking redemption. John Oliver managed to escape a bad situation, but out of the frying pan and into the fire. Sam B. will spread her feminist messages to everyone while trying her best to battle injustices. Conan O'Brien is trying...
Samantha Bee is such a girl boss.
Conan O'Brien is trying not to make a mess of his life while he's sure he's doing the right thing. Shep Smith is trying his best to survive after being locked up in Guantanamo Bay prison camp. And Trevor Noah, Jason Jones, Andy Richter, Amy Poehler, Jessica Williams all try to do their parts too. After all, this is all part of the daily life in the Trump regime. And that is the title, The Trump Regime. And this is uncompleted.
When was it written?
The first chapter came out 2018, April 7th, and it was last updated 2018, May 2nd. So, unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get a completion of this, but it does have 600.
That's sad.
So,
I think that's remarkably prescient, though. The whole Trump authoritarian regime.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. All right, Hailey, what do you have to share for us? Now, it is one of the things that I mentioned in the last fic, but I didn't say exactly what. So what are you covering this week?
So what I'm going to be reading you is called Plum Forest, according to Google Translate, or Mei Shu Lin sometimes. They decided to just, translate it phonetically. And the author put in the beginning a really convoluted explanation. It's apparently a homonym for May, as in the season. The woods are full of wood. Wood can be disassembled into 18. So Mei Shu Lin refers to May 18th. On May 18th, 2013, it was the day of Stefon got married. And it was also the day when Bill and Fred and Suds graduated from SNL. So Cold World Game.
So Cold World Game.
I assume they mean Bill Hader, Fred Armisen, and Jason Sudeikis. That's right, baby. We're doing SNL. My second favorite late night talk show host, Seth Meyers, known previously for his stint as a Weekend Update reporter. Evie, you're familiar with Stefon.
I am.
Right. So Stefon is a recurring character.
Written by John Mulaney.
Written by John Mulaney. Yes.
That's a great impression.
Written to be. Thank you. Thank you. He's written to be like a horrifyingly gay caricature, which I frankly don't know how to feel about, since, a straight man wrote him and a straight man played him. But
I think that it balances out with Seth Meyers being, the straight man in their comedy routine, and also being a gay man in love with him, and not being as stereotypical as Stefon. That's
true, yes. Stefon in this universe is a little bit of a Pete Buttigieg, just completely divorced from the gay community, just a capital N normal man.
Wait, hold on, I need to pause your recording really quick.
It's in the Sandy Passage AU, which Sandy Passage is an episode of Documentary Now, and it's parodying Grey Gardens.
Now, Documentary Now has Bill Hader, who plays Stefon.
Yes, it does. So that's a little bit of the streams crossing, I feel like, there.
Yeah.
Let me read you this. Hold on. This is verbatim. So here's the setup. Unemployed young people Seth and Josh Meyers, after graduating from Northwestern University in the late 1990s with a degree in radio, film, and television, have been hanging around Amsterdam, flying leaves and visiting kilns, but still nothing in their late 30s. I planned to fool around in the Netherlands for a lifetime. Who ever thought that in 2013 their father cut off the financial support for the two in order to buy a retirement home in Miami? the brothers had to move back to the United States, settled in New York, looking for work. During a late-night clubbing, they met Stefon Zalewski, who claimed to be the little prince of New York nightclubs. At the suggestion of nightclub promoter Gay Liotta, the brothers decided to shoot a documentary with Stefon and his mother, Miss Stefon, and planned to send the finished product to NBC for an errand. You'll notice with Gay Liotta, that is a character on one of the segments, Gay
Ray Liotta,
yeah. And they mentioned that a lot throughout this.
Really?
Yeah, really.
They mention Gay Liotta a lot?
No.
Oh.
They bring in all of the just like weird things that he says. I mean, this fic has everything. Dan Cortez, a human Roomba called Hoomba. Really, really, really insensitive depictions of little people and some playful anti-Semitism.
Oh my goodness gracious. This fic indeed has it all. I need to work on my Stefon impression.
Was that your Stefon impression?
No, it wasn't.
We have the setup, right? Seth and his little brother Josh have been cut off so that their dad could get a retirement home in Miami. So they've moved to New York and they're making a documentary, apparently in the Sandy Passage universe, about Stefon and his mother.
It's a Sandy Passage AU, so it's like instead.
Yeah.
Which in itself is a parody of a documentary. So this is a parody of a parody?
That's deep. This is one of my favorite little tidbits that I think is just a quirk of the really poor translation. Human Flesh Mysterious 8-Ball consciously walked to Josh's. Josh knelt down his ear and asked, Human Flesh Mysterious 8-Ball, should we come to the Plum Forest tomorrow night? After the question, Josh grabbed it with both hands. The shoulder of the mysterious 8-ball of human flesh shook vigorously for a while. The Human Flesh Mysterious number 8 sphere did not change its color and replied, please ask again later.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hailey?
Yeah?
I don't know.
It's good reading. It makes for good reading. You should invest in some sock garters, or at least hold on to them very tight.
I don't know whose socks these are. I'm wearing them, but I don't know who they belong to.
I think that's normal fare.
I think it might be.
Get ready, because 2 policemen, a man and a woman, stood outside the door. So Josh and Seth are safe. They're going to May Shulin every day to simply take pictures of Stefon and Miss Stefon. Miss Stefon is kind of anti-Semitic. Like I said, she calls Seth Meyers some not very friendly things. And Seth goes, no, it's okay. I don't identify as Jewish. So moving past that, this is where the intrigue in the plot comes in. 2 policemen knock on the door. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm Detective Peralta. This is Detective Santiago, who is noisy. We are here today to investigate something. Oh, why are there still cameras? That's right.
A Brooklyn Nine-Nine crossover?
A Brooklyn Nine-Nine crossover. Detective Jake Peralta and Amy Santiago are there to investigate. They're also communists, apparently. Stefon calls them comrade police. They ask if they've seen any suspicious people or things. But really what they're there for is Jewish Dracula Sidney Applebaum. They're there looking for legitimate Sidney Applebaum, who I think in this is supposed to be...
I need you to go back. Sorry, what now?
Yeah.
Say it again. I need to really process it.
Jake Peralta and Amy Santiago of Brooklyn Nine-Nine are looking for Jewish Dracula, Sidney Applebaum. Now, that is another thing that Stefon has mentioned in his sketch. I just don't know why they picked him out to be the main villain. So yeah, Sidney Applebaum is missing. Things continue. They kind of ignore that. Jake and Amy go away. They just kind of like fuck off. Then I think it gets really hard to understand at certain points, but Josh wants to quit. He doesn't like it anymore. Stefon kissed Seth once, and that's too much for him. So somehow that ends up to him getting in Miss Stefon's basement. Guess what he finds?
What does he find?
Anderson Cooper chained to the wall, and this is verbatim, covered with blood and other indescribable and unknown liquids. A little spot of mystery to keep your readers guessing.
Come?
Yes. Probably. So Seth sees that and he goes, "My God, why is his face so handsome as an angel in such a hellish environment?" And then he was stunned by this flash of thought of himself. "My God, Seth Meyers, why would you thinking that way?"
Wait, I thought that Josh went down to the basement.
Seth is there too. He sees Anderson Cooper. This is a little concerning because Stefon is supposed to be, being seduced by Anderson Cooper. This is a little, fantastical, a bit too unrealistic for me. And this is where it gets really, really hairy. This gets a little bit Parasite, honestly. Miss Stefon, they try to escape from her. This is just one line completely void of context, but I don't think that you need any. Donald Duck Vietnam War Nightmare was playing in Stefon's room and now filled Seth's ears. Donald Duck Vietnam War Nightmare.
Interesting.
So Seth and Josh, I assume they have a Tom and Jerry, trying to run away, slip, trip, and fall. But Seth Meyers wakes up. He's lying naked on Stefon's bed with Stefon riding him. Miss Stefon sitting aside, criticizing Stefon's actions for not being elegant enough.
Okay.
Yes, so you have absolutely nothing going on for the brunt of it. They go in and out of Mei Shulin Street, which is just all the time they say Mei Shulin. So, hey, we've all learned some new words today. They're just taking pictures for their documentary. Boom. Where's Jewish Dracula, Sidney Applebaum? Boom. Anderson Cooper chained up in the basement. Boom. Next thing you know, Seth Meyers is awake, getting ridden by Stefon with Miss Stefon watching. And that storyline ends there. We bring it in. The final part is so excellent. You bring it into the nice little framing story. As for the police squatting outside, it didn't take long for a new police inspector to come to the area of that group of police officers. The new officer took over 3 fires. The first fire was to ask the subordinates to stop the investigation of the Stefon mother and son. There are so many large and small cases in New York every day. Putting police force on a young man who did nothing but happened to be gay and his lonely mother is not only a waste of manpower, material, and financial resources, but also a disrespect for the LGBT community. Say. The new police inspector is Raymond J. Holt, the first black gay police inspector in New York City. In nightclubs, people call him Black George Washington. Since then, the world has never heard of Seth Meyers and his precious little brother Josh Meyers. No one knows where they have gone. Bum, bum, bum. That's how it ends. They end with working Raymond Holt into the canon as Black George Washington, which, of course, once again, Stefon mentions in a stupid sketch. They just disappear. All of this was the story of how Raymond J. Holt became the first black gay police inspector in New York City.
Oh my god. Hailey, I know that I presented minifics tonight, but your single fic blew every single one of them away.
Are you obsessed with this or what? I know I am.
Hailey, now I know that we don't. First of all, when did this come out?
Yeah. When did this fire drop? Let's see. After 2015. Evie?
Hailey?
August 14th, 2020.
We can't do this show anymore. Hailey, you found the perfect fan fiction.
August the 14th. Anno Domini 2020. Mother trucker, dude, this hurts like a butt cheek on a stick.
Oh my.
So yeah, this is my new obsession. Catch me on Maishu Lynn Street.
I do have an impression ready.
Oh, please.
This fic has everything. Two grown brothers living together in Amsterdam. Human flesh mysterious 8-ball. Anti-Semitism. A Brooklyn Nine-Nine crossover. A parody of a parody. Jewish Dracula, Sidney Applebaum. Anderson Cooper chained in the basement. Donald Duck, Vietnam War nightmare. No homophobia. Black George Washington, August 2020.
I don't think we're focusing enough on the fact that Sid Applebaum is like a real American businessman. Like, he's not even very famous. I don't know why they brought them on. It's probably just John Mulaney being John Mulaney.
Oh my god. Oh my. Hailey.
If anyone out there reads Chinese and can give me, like, a more accurate reproduction of this,
Please. We will bring you onto the podcast.
Yeah, we'll have our own episode. So anyway, what we're seeing, I think, is just something so wonderful, which is that, like, you have these relatively normal talk show hosts, you know, and that gives way to just, like, the most insane like, I feel like I'm Amy Winehouse right now. What kind of fuckery is this? I'm not here to be judged on my singing, but for real, what kind of fuckery is this?
I want to know what went on in this writer's head. Hailey, what website did you find this on?
Oh, this is Archive of Our Own.
Oh, thank God, because I will be reading this later.
Yeah, we'll link all of these on Twitter probably.
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh my God, Hailey, that's the perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. I think going forward, we should each just choose one of these to go forward with and really, like, dig into. I'm still very interested in the Frame story, where this is all just a vehicle for Raymond Holt to become, how do they say it, the first black gay police inspector. They're really interested in identity politics, I guess.
Well, I mean, in the television program,
Hey, are you in the Squid District? The Squid Strict?
Squid Strict?
Oh, come on, that's so good.
Let me do that take again.
We have Colberia and Squid Strict. We have to keep it.
In the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Raymond Holt is the first black gay police captain.
Yeah.
And that's like part of his character. It's part of what drives him, what makes him the man that he is today. Are we allowed to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine still? Or
I mean,
are we not allowed because it's propaganda? I like cop shows. We can talk about
it. It is propaganda a little bit. I don't know about allowed. I think watch it with a grain of salt, right? I think out of any cop show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is the most, first of all, diverse, but again, we're not getting into identity politics.
Hailey, we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about how immune to propaganda.
Yeah, we're cutting all of this out.
Yes.
Too political, unfollowing.
I will. So do you have anything else to share about your...
I think my review was fair and even-handed.
Hailey, thank you so much.
Evie, thank you.
Thank you so much to the Altogether for the use of their song On Decatur Street for our theme song. They're a great band. You can find them on Bandcamp and all of your favorite streaming sites, the Altogether Band. And I'm so sorry that you guys let me use your beautiful song on this disaster of a podcast where we talk about tentacle porn. And
grave mistake, yes.
But thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
We love it.
You can check us out on wishicoulddgetusername.com/our immortal, what was it, dash pod?
No, our-immortal.
Our-immortal. Or on Twitter @our immortal pod, on Instagram @our immortal cast. And if you want to follow Evie, you can find them at wishicoulddgetusername on Instagram, and the same without the vowels on Twitter.
And if you want to follow Hailey, you can find her at Gato with 6 T's on Instagram and at GaylyHotto on Twitter.
6 T's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can be found wherever your favorite podcasts are. That's Spotify, that's iTunes, etc. And if you'd like this, please consider sharing the show with your friends, family, post about it on Tumblr. That's our demographic. But that's your prerogative. It would simply mean a lot to us.
We don't have a goodbye catchphrase yet, but
I think that'll come up naturally.
That'll come up.
We'll find something good enough.
We'll find it eventually, but we hope you enjoyed.
Hey, how about this? Sidney Applebaum on 3.
Okay. Wait, Jewish Dracula, Sidney Applebaum.
Okay. Count us off.
1, 2, 3. Jewish
Dracula, Sidney Applebaum.
Have a fantastic night, everyone.
This has been Our Immortal.
We'll see you next time.
At the table for me.